Welcome to Pound for Pound ATL, arguably the best place to get facts and opinions on your Atlanta Falcons. And absolutely the best place to get your opinions in.
The guys are here, the chat is ready, and the conversation starts now.
What's going on, football fans? It's your boy, J.R. Clark. We back again with another rendition of Pound for Pound Live. We're having fun. We're getting into it. We got our newsroom set up. As y'all can see, they let our guys back in the building. Well, they didn't let Mike back in the building. They let Toby and Jim back in the building. So,
right.
But anyway.
Right. I'm hanging out outside.
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
Jimmy, what you got, man?
This your boy Jimbo Dean, a.k.a. Jimbo Slice, a.k.a. Jimmy Obama. And you can call me any one of those you want. But please do not call me no New Orleans Saints fan. I am a Falcon for life. Big
yes,
Mike,
sir.
What's up now?
Hey, Jimbo, you get me fired up already as we start the show. Even though I'm outside, this might be a little bit of a pound for pound ATL after dark. What I mean by that, because it's time to put some stuff to bed. Might be some rumors that we need to put to bed, because I did hear, and we're going to talk about it. I know we're going to get into it, but I did see that the Falcons are committed to keeping Matt Ryan, keeping Julio Jones. They locked in. I won't go into detail right now because it's not that time. Toby D, what you got?
Hey, man. Hey, them hardcore ice cold rumors, like I'm sure you feeling right now, Big Mike, since you outside. You know, when me and Jimmy, we on the inside, we getting that heat. You know what I'm saying?
Cold.
But
it's cold, baby.
Man, I'm really excited about them rumors too.
Yeah, that was something that pretty much got put to bed as we had been saying, all off season, the early part of this off season, even before, the off season really kicked off. We were straight up and down saying, hey, look, Matt Ryan's going to be here 2021 for sure. Like, if nothing else, we're talking about money alone, keeps him here. Same thing with Julio Jones. You're not going to pay some dude $40-something million to go play for somebody else. Not when he's still a good and serviceable quarterback, more than a serviceable quarterback. He still had a good year under, crazy Dirk Cutter, right? So he was still a productive quarterback. So you don't walk away from that, this year. Now, does that preclude us from potentially drafting a quarterback number 4? No, that doesn't, and we're going to get into all that. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go ahead and call it flat out, Matt Ryan, unless something crazy happens, he is your starter 2021. Period, point blank. And I know that's going to upset some people out there, who were ready to see him suit up for somebody else. But, I hate to burst y'all's bubble, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So it was interesting to hear that report come out of the Super Bowl festivities. It was like a report that didn't need to be reported, but it got reported. So with the Deshaun Watson stuff and the, Jimmy Garoppolo stuff floating around, and I even heard Kirk Cousins' names floated about. To put that to bed this early in the offseason was definitely something that I'm glad they did. I'm glad they went ahead and just put that one down.
Well, they said that Arthur Smith is going to run like a Kyle Shanahan-esque type of offense, which, he's been compared to Sean McVay's and Matt LaFleur's and Kyle Shanahan's anyway. So that's only befitting that happens. I don't see why it wouldn't happen, but, nobody's been able to really crack that code, starting with Steve Sarkisian trying to crack the code on Kyle Shanahan offense. And then, the latest Dirk Cutter, who's, thank God he's gone now. I wish him the best, but he's gone. Wherever he's going at, whether it's on his couch or, Boise State or anywhere else, but not the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm excited to see what the Atlanta Falcons do at least the first year with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones.
I mean, look, the one issue that you had when you went from Sarkisian, like from Shanahan to Sarkisian, right, is that Quinn pretty much dictated you're going to run this playbook. And I think that was one of Quinn's biggest downfalls. I mean, you just saw for the past 2 years what Sarkisian has done in Alabama. The play calling and all this other stuff.
Man.
That's because Saban let him call his plays and let him run his system. Quinn said, you're going to run Shanahan's system. And then he tried to do the same thing to Cutter and said, you're going to run this system. Look, why are you going to bring these people in here and not let them do what they're supposed to, or not let them do what got them here, or what you saw to get them the job? Now, granted, I'll die on the hill of I don't think Cutter was Dan Quinn's hire. I think that was Dimitrov. I think they wanted Kubiak. Denver blocked us, so they panicked and hired Cutter. That's been the basically the scenario that has been floated around. And it's as believable as anything else, right?
That's right.
Because it's hard for me to think that Quinn beat Cutter the amount of times that he did and then say, yeah, come run my offense. That ain't never made no sense to me, right? So, anyway, last time I'm going to mention that dude's name, at least in this show. Well,
I'm about to say.
Right. There we go. This show. No, he's coming up.
He's going to come up. Yeah, of course he is. But at least in this show.
Yeah, he's going to creep back in though.
You got it.
So,
it ain't right unless he creeps.
But with Arthur Smith, the comparison to Shanahan and the comparison to McVay is that zone type of system that they run, the zone blocking. What really unleashed Derrick Henry on the league was that outside zone running. Okay, and getting Derrick Henry, in space, moving to where he can stiff arm people, to where he becomes almost like the juggernaut, right? From the cartoons and the comic books for all you nerds out there. The juggernaut, once he gets moving, he can't be stopped. That's the whole point of that character. Well, Derrick Henry is that guy in real life on the football field. You have to get to Derrick Henry before he gets moving, right?
No question about it.
And so that's what that wide zone did for Derrick Henry. And that's the type of scheme that they're bringing here, which let's go ahead and call it. That's why he got hired, okay? Arthur Blank, Rich McKay, they saw the type of scheme that Matt Ryan was most successful in. This guy runs a very similar scheme who, proved his way through the league, coming up through the ranks. So that's who they hired. And it made sense to me once they hired him that I'm like, no, you're not going to move away from Matt Ryan. Not in the first year. Not only for cap reasons, but for philosophy reasons. You're going to see if this guy is going to be able to make it work and regain his form.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when Tom Perlesco, had that report and it, was coming around, and I tweeted it out, and so did I think that every other talking head out there. Well, good. Now we can put that to rest. I'm like, yeah, we should have been putting that to rest to begin with.
Yeah, it should have never came about, but it's good conversation.
Yeah, well, it's the off season.
Absolutely,
it's what you got to have, right?
Right.
You got to have something to talk about.
Right.
But
Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk, he's still not really buying it. So he's put it out today that still keep an eye on it, because they didn't say that they were, not open to trade talks and stuff like that, accepting phone calls doesn't mean necessarily that they aren't going to eventually do it somewhere down the road before the season starts. So
absolutely.
I mean, okay. Absolutely. So I guess let's talk about the thing that really brought that up. I mean, Matt Stafford gets traded to the Los Angeles Rams for, what was it, Jared Goff, this year's first-round pick, next year's first-round pick, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it 2023's first-round pick too?
Yeah. So
go ahead, Mike.
Yes. No, it's 2023, and to take it home, the Rams will go the next 6 years. Check this out: the next 6 years without a first-round pick. So, you're right. That's rough. And to hedge, I would say your whole franchise on Matthew Stafford, that is a risk in itself. But I'm glad you brought that up, JR, because what it reminds me is one important fact. Sean McVay and Arthur Smith may be a little bit similar. I think more similar because they don't strike me as guys that are going to wait on what they feel like this franchise is going to need from that standpoint, because I think that there were rumblings. Now, I won't go into the speculations. You can read the tabloids for that. You want to Google why potentially Sean McVay told Jared Goff, take the first thing smoking to Detroit. You can Google it, because there's a story about that. But the fact of the matter is they let their franchise quarterback go for I can't say next to nothing. They basically leveraged. They went all in. They put all their chips in. So I think that it shows just the nuances of the regime. Now, when I look at Fontenot a little bit, I look at Arthur Smith. I'm not one to say now. Here again, I'm in solidarity. Matt Ryan is our quarterback this year, and I believe that Matt Ryan will have a good bounce back year, because I will harp and die on this hill that if you look at the work that Arthur Smith did with Tannehill, it was really just semantics. It was just cleanup work. He didn't radically change who Tannehill was. So his ability to come in and play to his strengths, and he went out and said that they'll utilize the 2016, when he was at his best. All of the coaches know when Matt Ryan was at his best. So if they're going to really tailor something to meet him at his best, then, again, let's let him succeed. But I do think, hey, if it's as bad as we say it is, then yes, it will be the drastic, radical, we got to get this guy in that can play, whether he's a rookie, whether he's been in the league 5 or 6 years. We're at that point, and we know.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, I know Sean McVay is flat out betting on the fact that, his defense had them, in the playoffs. Now, the real question is going to be, his next defensive coordinator, is he going to be able to keep that going? Because they lost their defensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator is now the head coach of the Chargers. So it's going to be real interesting to see if the defense can stay the powerhouse, or if Sean McVay is betting on the fact that, Matthew Stafford can come in and revitalize his offense and have it looking like they did when Jared Goff looked like a competent quarterback. Right. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because not only did Detroit, take up a good bit of the, the money, from, but if I'm not mistaken on how this works in the NFL, the Rams still have to pay him.
Yeah, but not as much if they would have kept him, but they still got to pay him. They got to pay him that guaranteed.
Wow.
But that other stuff, it's going to be left up to Detroit. But that guaranteed, the Rams got to pay that.
Yeah, no. So yeah, you're paying guaranteed money, and you're giving up a whole bunch of picks just to get the guy out of there.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, that's interesting that you make that decision. You know what I'm saying?
That what that tell me? That tell me that the owner was in on it too, because he was going to be shelling out that free money, so he was in on it too.
Exactly.
Yeah, he definitely had to been there. Now,
we're
starting to see some rumblings of, talking about potential run game and things of that nature. How old Todd Gurley wants to come back and suit up in the red and black. And he dared to mention, because he liked how Arthur Smith featured Derrick Henry. You are not Derrick Henry, sir.
Not by a long shot.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore. I mean, even when Todd Gurley was good, they running style was way different. I mean, oh man, that's a way different running style.
Yeah, so I mean, you're talking about, wanting to come back. We ain't got the cap space for it. Like, we already gonna have to get creative. I mean, is Todd Gurley coming back for the vet minimum?
What if he do? What if he do it?
Yeah.
No. Like, why would you? Like, he could. I don't know. When I saw that popping up today, boy, that made me laugh.
You know what? I'll be honest though. It reminds me of the interview I heard with Steven Jackson, and before the Falcons cut him, he was like, "Oh man, I'd love to be back another year with the Atlanta Falcons."
Oh yeah.
That ended up being his last snap in the NFL, to be honest with you. Now, I'm not here to say that Todd Gurley is in that same situation, but I will say this. JR, you brought up an amazing point about being a juggernaut, getting a guy out in space, kind of being able to, like you said, a lot of his stiff arms was him in space, just making the guy look silly. I don't think that Todd Gurley possessed that burst to even be put in those positions to even allow Arthur Smith to feature him in a way. Because to be honest with you, I think that if Todd Gurley, if he had just a little bit left in the tank, I could see this would be a perfect year for Todd Gurley to play a role as a complimentary back. Now, because to be honest with you, but let's explore the scenario, guys. Before we tap in the chat, all that good stuff. Could you, if we got a Javonte Williams second round, right? In theory, right? Let's just go there, right? And we put him there as the lead back. Would you guys feel comfortable bringing Todd Gurley back as a complimentary back, where it's understood he's a complimentary back?
I would feel far more comfortable giving Quadre Olison, who's already on the roster, a chance.
Yeah. I was about to say we got other backs on the roster now. I kind of want to see what they got to do. I don't want nobody to come in and hold back guys that we already got on the roster, and we ain't even seen nothing from them, really. So I'll let them walk.
I would definitely let them walk. Toby, what you thinking?
Javonte Williams or Michael Carter. I got my eyes on the NC. I got my eyes on the NC backs, dog. I'm not even studying Todd Gurley right now. I love him to death. He's a Georgia Bulldog for life, but no, not on my field.
Hey, y'all better quote Toby D on that, because I agree. I triple agree with what he just said. Let me tell you something. That doggone Michael Carter. Hey, listen. We talk a lot about Javonte Williams, but that Michael Carter. The first time I saw his tape, I messaged Jimbo and said, "Bro, I'm gonna keep watching this tape because I'm trying to find weaknesses on this guy. That's how good he is. It's not that he does anything just exceptionally well. It's just he is not gonna make mistakes. If you ask him to hit the hole, he's gonna hit the hole. If you ask him to run a route, run the wheel route, and that's what you got to do 6 times, he's gonna run it perfect all 6 times. I like that Michael Carter.
And that's like I'm glad that those are the names that y'all brought up, because that doesn't make me seem nearly as crazy, because that's what the Falcon Eye View is about tomorrow. It is straight up and down about Javonte Williams. It's about Michael Carter, and I threw in
let's go.
Oh man, I'm gonna mess the guy's name up. The cat out of Oklahoma, Stevenson.
Hold up. Hold up. We got you. I got you.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre.
Yep. See that?
That's right. Say it 5 times fast. Don't do that. But yeah, Ramondre.
So that's what, like, I didn't do just like, because I put out a poll, right? And for all you who voted on that poll, I really appreciate it, because it gave me a clear path of, what to do this Falcon Eye View about. Everybody wanted a draft profile, and so I didn't want to do just a player. I wanted to do a full-on, position. So that's what this week's is about, and it is those 3 guys that I touch on. And if you give me one of those guys, and one of those dudes, and you pair that with Quadre Olison and Ito Smith for this year, I'm perfectly fine. All right, we can't keep getting ignoring the chat, because Stu the Pepperhead done tipped us $10 again. He said, he said, y'all spitting logic here, both from a personnel and a cap space point of view. This is an airtight approach. Now trade back and have the ability to fill both need and value in lockstep with y'all rise up. That's the thing. I mean, this draft is going to be, it's going to be the hot topic until it happens, right? And plus the fact that it is so wide open of what we can do and what we should do, and it's going to be just such a topic of conversation. Now, Brandon Levy followed that up with a $5 tip, which we really appreciate, Levy.
Brandon.
He said, Jimmy.
Appreciate it, brother.
He said, Jimmy, what do you think about Paris Ford and Hamsha from FSU?
Ooh.
After you give this, we're going to get into the chat again, okay?
Okay. What's up, Brandon Levy? I appreciate the tip. Rise up, big dog. Hey, look here. Paris Ford is your free safety that can play in the box at the same time, but he also is a nickel dime type of body built type of safety. But he's a turnover guy. Now, don't get it twisted. His cover range can get a little iffy, kind of like a KZ. When I look at Paris Ford, I kind of see KZ a little bit. Now, your guy from Florida State, big, tall, lanky, kind of like a Keanu O'Neal, but a bigger version of him. But his physicality, with him being so lanky, he can't be as physical as he want to be. But man, he can cover the center field. I like
So,
both of them
yeah.
guys. If
Yeah.
you want versatility, you go with Paris Ford. If you want a guy that's going to be strictly free safety and that's it with not too much versatility, you go with my guy out of Florida State, big tall, 6'3", 220-pound safety. Go ahead, Mike.
So,
'Cause I love these
so,
guys. Go ahead.
so Hamza, bro, that's when he said Hamza. That's when I kind of froze up a little bit because Paris Ford, Jimbo talks about Paris Ford. He's been talking about him for a month. Matter of fact, Jimbo told me about Paris Ford back in October. I think he made a play on ESPN and he caught our attention. But Hamza, let me tell you something. What I like the most about that guy is he played hard. He played hard football on a bad Florida State team. And I mean, Florida State has been bad. I mean, the culture is bad. The coaching staff has been bad. The way they handle COVID protocols has just been horrible. And listen, if you're a Seminole fan watching this show right now, it ain't nothing personal, but y'all probably agree. Matter of fact, if you're a Seminole pound for pound fan, you can do your war chant, but also talk about how bad your program is in the comment. But back to this Hamza guy. I think I saw a lot of games where the team on defense the defense had given up. Marvin Wilson had said, "Look, I'm already gone. I've checked out. I'm at the NFL mentally already. I'm a star defensive tackle, but I've checked out." But Hamza, game after game after game, was a guy. They were getting beat by 35 points, tackling, running, hitting, in guys' face, talking noise. So for him, I like a guy that just wants to play football.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Hamza a guy, we're gonna store him away, and I think that JR, in the future, we might need to look at him for a bird's eye view in the future as well.
Right.
Just study him.
No doubt.
Good job, Brandon.
That is a very good. We appreciate any type of question like that. All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and jump into chat as we've gotten our opening salvo in.
I know
They are popping off. Iron Mike, we're gonna start at the top. Iron Mike says, "Good times. It's like the team is announcing nothing but good news." That's right. That's what we like to hear. Sites BTW says, "Yo, how are you guys? We're doing good." Juan Carter says, "Pound for pound, family." He says, "Are you guys doing a live stream once the draft starts?" Our plan initially right now is to live stream the first day for sure, and depending on how that goes, potentially the second day as well. So we're looking at live streaming the first 3 rounds of the draft. I had a lot of fun doing that last year, and now I've gotten a lot more confident in the whole streaming setup. So I feel comfortable getting my guys in here with me.
Yeah, I'll be with you, brother. Don't worry about
yeah,
that.
definitely we're definitely going to be doing that. Everybody else is saying Reggie 2K, Anthony Romo, Wallace Smith, Onus Knox, everybody's saying what's going on, what's happening, peoples.
What's up, family?
That's right.
Family.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Butts did comment on the whole Todd Gurley wants to re-sign, which we touched on that. He can go play for the Giants for all I care at this juncture. He can go back up Saquon.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Anyway, gear since 1872. Gear since, I don't know what that is. Anyway, he says Falcons should draft Najee Harris. If they trade back far enough, they can take him in the first round. I think there's a possibility he's going to be there at the top of the second round. But I would imagine that if Jacksonville takes Trevor Lawrence and it comes back around to Jacksonville again and Najee Harris is still sitting there, you would be a fool not to take Najee Harris to pair with Trevor Lawrence. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to make it to the 4th pick in the second round if he's still there in the second round. So you're probably going to have to take him in the first, and if they do that, he's not good enough to take it the 4th overall pick is what I'm trying to get.
Right.
Right.
Oh, not even.
Okay. Glory Hands says, "What's up, guys? Here, a Falcons fan from Puerto Rico." Holy crap.
Oh,
Right. Appreciate you, Glory Hands, for from Puerto Rico. That's pretty cool.
Got to love. We love Puerto Rico. That's right. Hey, right.
Puerto Rico.
Bacardi.
Reggie 2K says, "Michael Carter, I will check the highlights." That's fine. Yeah, Reggie 2K, just come back tomorrow and you can check the Falcon Eye View because I got a piece on Michael Carter in there, and if that intrigues you, you can go look at the rest of it. Right. David M asked, "How about Chuba Hubbard out of OK State?" Now that's a name that I heard bouncing around. Now I know he opted out, and that was kind of a big deal, right? So I haven't gotten around to watching any of his tape. So you throwing your hands up there, Jimmy. You got something on Chuba Hubbard?
And that indeed I do, Mr. JR. I really appreciate that. And that's Julie Hubbard out of Oklahoma State, a 6'1", 220 pounds, running 4.3 in the 40. Check me out. Almost led the nation in touchdowns the year before he opted out. Now,
yes, sir.
let's look at some of the players that came out of Oklahoma State that are currently in the Super Bowl right now, and that's Tyreek Hill. And the thing I want to say about this, when it comes to them guys that come out of Oklahoma State, they are sneaky, athletic guys. And if you want to look at a versatile running back that can catch the ball, run the ball, not really good A and B gap, so which we're not going to do anyway with Arthur Smith, right? So might be an Arthur Smith type of back if you really want to look at that. Good on the side. And the best thing about Chula Herbert that people really don't understand and people don't notice, he's an excellent pass blocker.
I like that.
What do we had? What if we had him in the Super Bowl? I don't even want to go there.
Come on.
He would have picked that block up. So okay, go ahead. I'm back up off that.
No. Listen, Chuba Hubbard. Let me tell you something. We'll go simple on him. I like him so much. I would say we draft him 3rd round, 4th round. He's a 21 carry guy as a rookie running back. Be honest with you.
I like it.
Like Jimbo said. Like Jimbo says, man, because let me tell you something about Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is just a football player. He's not gonna be the guy that's gonna give you 28 bench press, freaking nature, varsity. But he's a guy that when you look for guys that you want to build a team around and say, hey man, who wants to just play? Like you just love football. You would rather do anything else but play football. Chuba Hubbard is not only that guy, he's well coached. Mike Gundy always gets max value out of his running backs. And it's very, very surprising that he's not ranked higher. But I think the opt-outs, like I said,
that's making it real difficult this year. I think those opt-outs.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So all right, let's keep rolling right along in chat here.
I love it, chat.
Let's see here. All right, Jaden Scheffler says, "I hate drafting O linemen." Oh Lord, but if we get a chance, we should strongly consider Sewell. Yeah, we should strongly consider Sewell or Slater. Like if you're gonna take an O lineman, right? Then it's one of those two.
Yeah.
And Sewell is, from what I could tell, Sewell or Slater both are worth 4th overall pick. It ain't gonna be sexy, but you want to talk about sending a message of we're gonna protect our quarterback, regardless of who it is. That's that's my opinion.
And actually, I'm glad we brought it up because we see a lot of guys out there doing videos and draft videos. But if you look back at when we did our draft video on Panay Sewell, because we were, again, some of the first creators to really just tap into this draft stuff. I think, be honest with you, I can see how the Panay Sewell pick would work for us. We picked 4. Fans are gonna grumble. We got a lineman. We didn't get the flashy guy. We didn't get the freaking nature. But he's gonna be a guy that you're just gonna appreciate.
That's it.
Just know that if we draft him, you're going to appreciate him for a long time. You're not going to see a lot about him. You're not going to have a lot of interviews, but it's a safe pick. And, I think that there's value in that.
Right. Toby, what do you think about a pick like that for a new regime? Like a almost surefire pick for, a brand new regime on their first pick?
Right. Y'all ain't going to like me, but I ain't going for Nate too.
Ooh, what you got, Toby?
Go ahead,
Toby.
I'm going with arguably 2 of the best wide receivers in this draft right now. And
go ahead, baby.
Smith. This reminds me of 2011 Julio Jones and AJ Green when they came out. Now, we wanted to go up to number 4, but Cincinnati blocked us because they wanted AJ Green, and we took Julio Jones. I think you take the best player available. Anyone that drops right there that the Miami Dolphins don't take, we take one of them guys.
Grab and go, right?
We go for Julio Jones replacement, not Matt Ryan's in this draft.
You trying to get me fired up?
Look, now hold on now.
I told you I wasn't getting fired up, Jumbo. They ain't doing it. You see him out there. He getting us fired up. Right? I told him I wasn't
Toby's
getting
already trying to trade Calvin Ridley. So
if
if y'all ain't caught his think tank.
No, nothing against Calvin.
No, of course not. Nothing against Calvin. But if y'all ain't caught Toby D's think tank, y'all really need to go take a look at it because the comparison he draws between Calvin Ridley and Brandon Cooks is man that like eerily similar, right? That was pretty good. Fred Butts just tipped us $2. We appreciate that, Fred. He said, Gurley is a beast. When used, you got to run him. Okay, so he's saying that. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and call it, guys. Obviously, the man who shall not be named for the rest of this show ain't got a clue how to use a running back, right?
There you go. Y'all see him. Y'all.
What you trying? Look, it's a loophole, man. I didn't say his name. I didn't say his name, right? Okay. Anyway, so we all agree that man ain't got a clue how to use a running back. So if Todd Gurley comes back at a very, very cheap price, like I'm talking vet minimum, I am so not joking when I say that. It's not because I don't think he's worth more. It's just we ain't got the cap space to be spending on it. We got far more bigger issues when you can pick up a running back late round that is going to give you production, right? It may not be star quality production, but he'll give you, production for a year or two, right? So I cannot, just like for the life of me, I know I'm trying hard to get on board with the draft a quarterback at 4. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. Yeah. The amount of holes that we have on this team, I understand best player available. I get it. But can we not meet best player available and need at the same time? Because we don't have the cap space to go out and just sign whoever we want. So we're going to have to be creative in the draft.
But see, Todd Gurley is trying. He know that Arthur Smith like to run the ball. He's trying to get back in this system so he can bet on himself and get another contract to go somewhere else. It's reverse psychology. We know what you're doing, Todd Gurley.
You sound a little mad over there, man.
Because look here, man, he didn't do nothing for us during this past season, but get paid from 2 teams.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't owe him no favor. He owes us a favor.
Call it. Look, you paid me $6 million, and I'll do about what Todd Gurley did.
Bro, listen, JR. Hey, you're right, JR. You pay me $6 million. I do. Hey, listen, I'll get 10 carries for 12 yards and do Pizza Hut commercial. I do it. Pay me $6 million to do that.
But do not use my organization to get another contract somewhere else because you know this regime like to run the ball. Don't do that.
That ship is sailed. That ship is already sailed. He tried it last year. And listen, and guess what? All the fans had the energy behind it last year. Remember those episodes where we were like, hey, what jersey are we going to get first? Because all the jerseys was on back order. People were like, oh, my God, I got my Todd Gurley jersey. We got that shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that went viral.
Look, I told y'all better be glad y'all got them jerseys because that's all y'all was going to get out of having Todd Gurley on the team was Gurley on the back of that jersey. So, I mean, have at it.
That's right.
I'm glad you got it.
And Fred Butts in the comment saying he didn't get used, Jimmy. Yeah, he didn't. But he know he's going to get used in this system. So he can bank on himself now because he know Arthur Smith going to run the ball. Dirk Carter didn't run. I see what you're saying, Fred Butts, but I'm trying to explain to you he's trying to bet on himself in a running system type of offense. Anyway, go ahead, JR.
All right. Oh, back in the chat here. Dexter Blash says the Falcons shouldn't play around with trading back. Take a QB and don't be cute about it. See, that's going to be the crux up until draft day. That's going to be that's going to be the thing. You have the camp of you don't know if you're ever going to be back here again, and so take your QB now. Then you have the camp of trade back, get picks, and fill out the roster, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the folks who think we are this bad, right? That the coaching staff ain't gonna fix it. Yeah. We ain't got the players to be good. Guess what, folks? We're gonna be right back up in here again next season if it is as bad as you think it is. Right? Right?
Yeah.
So right. I mean,
true story.
Ask Browns fans how drafting up at the top has helped their organization. So
consistent.
Right. Anyway, we're gonna keep on pushing.
But hold on. But actually, JR, let me ask you this question though, because as we look at outside of this, because we did, Jimbo and I, we own up to everything that we do in these draft houses, and they're gonna keep coming, and we got another one coming because we took a lot of flack. I thought we saw the comments. We saw how fans really feel about JF1, and that's all right. Some people are going, like you said, this is the show of, as Jimbo always eloquently puts it, y'all have y'all opinions. We got our opinions. But let me ask y'all something. When you look at Sam Ehlinger's tape, second round, third round, those guys, Kellen Mond, what is it? Why would you not want to see those guys in the Falcons uniform? Put them in the comment. We ain't even going to talk about it here because I think that, to be honest with you, at the top, it is a crapshoot. To be honest with you, all of the quarterbacks in the top have something to like. But let me tell you something. This next tier quarterbacks, like I said, the Ellingers, the Kellen Monds, these guys have played in a lot of big time games, and I think in the right system, they can thrive and flourish too. So that is where, honestly, I'm gonna have faith in Arthur Smith and Fontenot to be that guy to find those diamonds in the rough. Because I don't know if Fontenot had a role in having a Taysom Hill, but they, you look at these guys that the Saints have drafted. A Marcus Davenport, guys out of UT, San Antonio, places like that. Look at these guys that are some diamonds in the rough, and I think that we just can't overstate that, man. Look back, take a breath, look past Trey Lance, JF1, all these Zach Wilson, all of these guys. Look at these next tier quarterbacks and let's have that conversation. Because with the double down on Matt Ryan, absolutely, I still am more on the best player available. And again, I know we did the draft house on JF1 last week, but that was last week. It's a new week, so y'all tap in this Saturday as well. Definitely.
Now this Saturday we definitely got a surprise for y'all, so to speak. I don't want to necessarily ruin it. We had a special guest on who dropped a lot of real good insight, and we enjoyed that quite a bit to that conversation that we had with him. So definitely make sure y'all check that out. All right, back up into the chat that is going off like a crazy person. Let's see. Where am I? Okay, VTW says this is why we suck every year. Why would we go wide receiver? He's coming at you, Toby.
Toby?
He said why?
Well,
why would we go wide receiver? We
Go
need
ahead,
to build this defense up. We only have one impact defensive player.
I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, the defense ain't top heavy in the top 10. You go back and look at who's in that top 10 right now. It's mostly offense. Okay, you're gonna get some good value in this draft, but you don't have a surefire top 10 defensive guy in this top 10. Yes, you may have a couple that's in there, but that don't make them surefire. Right. And Jerry Fontenot already said there's nothing wrong with taking a position that's already a position of strength for the Atlanta Falcons. So that's another reason why you would take them. And on top of that, you may not get rid of Matt Ryan for 2 years. He may not be gone to 2023, but Julio Jones ain't guaranteed to stick around after 2021. You need his replacement now. And this draft right here, in my opinion, is where you should get him right now.
I like the passion.
Talk about it, Toby.
I like the passion, Toby.
Yeah, hey, and I'm gonna be honest. And Toby D, let me tell you something. I'm gonna double down on your passion. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think Jamar Chase could be the next Julio Jones. He was that good in college. So take that for what it's worth. If you're gonna talk about what he is and what he ain't, and why would we get a receiver? Look at Jamar Chase and look at the way he dominated on one of the greatest offenses in NCAA history. He was so good that when he opted out, nobody questioned him. Some of these guys that opted out, we should have questioned it. Jamie Newman, why did you opt out? Rousseau, why did you opt out? You cannot question Jamar Chase.
Bam.
So if we get a wide receiver, be prepared to support him for the next 10 years and get you a Jamar Chase jersey, a Devontae Smith jersey, heck, even a Jalen Waddle jersey if you want to go there. They all talk to you.
Let's do it.
Hey, JR, me and you the only one not fired up right now. Let's kind of keep
somebody got to try to keep this ship going in the right direction, right? You know,
Toby got me fired up, and I'm fired up because Jimbo got fired up. I'm cool enough.
Oh, Lord.
I ain't that fired up, but y'all fired up.
That's
Go
good.
ahead, JR.
VTW follows it up a few comments later saying Falcons need to go Sewell if he's there or Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is interesting, man. Micah Parsons is super interesting. Like y'all are definitely going to want to check out that draft house because we went in on Parsons quite a bit. So definitely give that a look. Slim Hardaway says, run Julio and Matt to the ground and then start the rebuild. Hey, you paying them a lot of money. You ever heard like driving the wheels off of something? I'm going to drive it till the wheels fall off. They ain't fell off yet, so keep driving.
Keep riding. Keep riding.
Clarence Fisher says, Kurt Benkirk is the QB that should be sitting under MR2.
And I was about to say something about Kurt Benkirk too, because we shouldn't sleep on this guy, man. No. We should not sleep on him at all.
Like, if nothing else, like he definitely should have cemented himself as the backup for sure. Now that old Shabby finally retired, but let's see. We go. Speed Falcon said, "People got to realize if we draft a QB, we will be picking at 4 again. Also, Matt Ryan will request a trade." Now, I'm glad you brought the whole will request a trade up because he had a comment talking about like if they were to draft somebody, QB wise, that he ain't trying to be everybody's best friend, so to speak, but he isn't gonna be like cold shouldering nobody. He understands the business side of the NFL, and he's gonna do what he can to, at least he's saying he's gonna do what he can to, help a guy along or bring a guy along. And I was glad to hear that if this regime that doesn't owe Matt Ryan anything as far as loyalty and allegiance goes, if they decide that they need their guy, that isn't going to be a whole bunch of drama-filled craziness.
Yeah. He gonna bring him along. You gonna hold this clipboard while I go out here and do my thing.
Hold that clipboard.
Hold the clipboard.
Right. Give me some Gatorade.
Hold on, yeah. What do you see out there?
Yeah.
Look. Oh, you're an idiot. Don't talk. No, I'm just kidding. You see nothing.
Hey, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did you just say that it could potentially be, if we got a Justin Fields, that he could actually throw a spiral of Gatorade to Matt Ryan instead of throwing down the
throw it, hit him in stride. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what kind of candy you got. Run over there and throw me the Gatorade. That's what we're gonna do.
I got you.
Stu the Pepperhead done tipped us $5 more. Stu really likes us, and we like you, Stu. He says,
Stu the pound for pound ATL head. Right. I love it.
He said, why is that Dirty Bird in the upper left just swagging on you? Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. Okay, hold on. Why is that hashtag Dirty Bird in the upper left just swagging on you other three with the ATL gear? LOL, just saying. Hold on, what is he trying to talk? Is he talking about like what we're wearing?
Who in the left?
Y'all got me confused, Stu.
But who in the left? Who in the left?
It's either gonna be.
If he talking about
it's either you, Jimmy, or Mike, depending. Because I'm looking at the screen, right? And the screen.
See, I'm outside.
Okay.
I'm outside. No, I'm outside.
I know, but I'm looking at the
outside.
feed, right? I'm looking at the feed of y'all in the stadium and outside, and Jimmy is on my left, and Toby is on my right. But I think it's mirrored, so it's flipped around. So I think on the people's side, it would be the other way. So maybe that's what, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's trying. Stu, I'm sorry.
See, Stu, you trying to
He is
confuse us
confusing.
right now.
But that's all right. It don't take much.
But we appreciate it though.
Hey,
We
man,
appreciate it.
he confuses. He keep putting $5.
He
up
can
in his
definitely
pocket.
keep
I'll tell
confusing
you.
me.
You make perfect sense. No, Stu was clear.
I'm
confused.
I'm like Bill Withers. Confuse
Right.
me up.
Confuse me up.
No, I'm fine with it.
Hey, Stu, if you're talking about me, I got my Matt Ryan jersey on because he's
That's
back,
right.
baby.
That's
and
right.
all the rumors and all that good stuff that was going on before this show came out. This is why I got a Matt Ryan jersey on, and this is why I'm a Julio Jones on the
I'm about to
next
say,
one because they ain't going nowhere.
I done
Let's
went and
go.
ordered me a Julio Jones jersey. It should be in by next, and I was already planning on
There
wearing
you
it
go.
because guess who's back?
Guess who's back? And hey, Julio and Matt Ryan, finish what
That's
y'all
right.
started,
That's
please.
it.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir. Finish.
Steele says, I still think we're getting a QB in the first, man. Yeah, there are QBs in every draft, but when will the Falcons be having the fourth pick again? We could trade up, but there's nothing wrong with it. I get that understanding. I really do. Don't get me wrong. I understand the logic of don't pass up on a generational player if you feel that's what it is. I just think that, honestly speaking, it's not like anything blows me off the water with these QBs that are coming out. Like Trevor Lawrence is your clear cut, right? Your clear cut above the rest. And then after Trevor Lawrence, you can make a case for Justin Fields. You can make a case for Zach Wilson. You can even make a case for Trey Lance. So when that's the case, it's hard for me to really get behind drafting one of those guys, right? Unless it is just absolutely clear cut, it's hard for me to get going. Now, Corey Spence tipped us $2. Thank you, Corey. He says draft
Appreciate
Patrick
that.
Surtain in 2 and Gregory Rousseau. Okay, so I think he's talking about either Patrick Surtain or Gregory Rousseau. Yeah, that'd be those are names that are being floated about as some of the upper echelon defensive players in this draft. But again, man, this is such a weird draft. You had the opt outs, you had teams not playing full seasons. teams not being able to play diverse talent because of staying interdivision. So these evaluators got their work cut out for them this year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And here's one thing on Russo. To be honest with you, because we haven't done a draft house on Russo yet, but it's a couple things on Russo that stick out to me that I'm not really comfortable with. One is Russo kind of had to be coached up, and don't get me wrong, he was a beast his first 2 years at Miami. But here's a couple things about Russo. Russo played receiver in high school. He's a converted. They converted him to outside linebacker. To me, that to me is a guy that with the right coaching, can be coached up. And if he's motivated in the right way, he can make an impact. But I think that, to me, if you opted out, I almost kind of put it in the same vein a little bit as somebody potentially, tearing their ACL, and we don't get a chance to see him. Right. We don't know anything about him. And you ask yourself, even if it's a Jadeveon Clowney, right? He ended up being a decent pro. But if he tore his ACL and was not able to play his junior year, do you still draft him first when there are other guys there? That's the way I look at it, because you don't know what you're going to get out of these guys. Like I said, the guys who've got good film out there, or their film is like Jamar Chase, where it's like, look, I know Jamar Chase is going to come in ready to do that. I just think that what we cannot afford to do is draft a Russo and he does not pan out again. And again, that's another guy that we thrown. That's another pass rusher that has gone to pass rusher university and has failed and dropped out. We can't have that. We need somebody to graduate. We need a homegrown guy, because we're not, like you said, the salary cap is not fair for an edge rusher again. So guess what? You hated Dante Fowler last year. You're going to hate him again. Again, we could throw some more shows on him later, but I just don't, again, we committed money to these guys. Like I said, Russo is just not a guy that I want to touch. Not even in the first round. He's not even a first round. I don't give him first round grade.
Yeah, I completely agree there. As far as Russo goes, it's so funny how these guys that even a week or so ago that were considered first rounders are plummeting, big time. Right. And so, it's like I said, it's going to be a really interesting draft. I really think that you're going to be able to get some steals later in the draft, just depending on how good your scouting department is. All right, let's see. Stu Pepperhead didn't tip us this time, but he's just asking a question. It's a question that I think is important. What mock draft site do you guys use to sim the draft? Now, I was using Pro Football Network, their mock draft, because they had a free trade simulator.
Right. There you go.
But their thing was like all over the place, right? At one time I drafted and they had Najee Harris in the 4th round still.
Oh,
and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That's so I even put out a tweet saying, like, be careful with these like draft sites, because depending on what their boards are set up to who they value, right? But a good one that I like is the Draft Network. They have a good mock draft, and then there's one that's called On the Clock. It's by Fanspeak. They let you. They have a lot of choices as far as they let you pick what big board you want to use, what team priorities you want to use. There's a lot of parameters that Fanspeak has that can let you craft a what may feel like a more realistic draft scenario. Any other ones do y'all use besides those?
The Draft Network. Draft
Network. Okay, cool.
But Draft Network, we gonna need a check anyway. Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, we are gonna need a check, right? Let's see. Now, Darius Jackson, I just tried to check it on Twitter just to confirm before I said this out loud. He says, "Can y'all believe Andrew Luck is coming out of retirement?" Has anybody heard that?
Wait.
I heard rumblings of that possibility.
Okay.
But nothing, confirmed on that. But I have been hearing rumblings about him possibly thinking about coming out of retirement, which would be great because, you're looking at what these other quarterbacks are coming in and being traded and doing right now. So this would probably be a perfect scenario for him to be considered one of the tops coming out of retirement.
Right. Well, I definitely there's nothing that I've seen that is confirmed, because if there was, Twitter would be ablaze with it right now.
Oh,
so
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If that's the case, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy. I wonder what contract implications would he have to go back to the Colts, or You know, would they still hold his rights, kind of thing? Anyway, let's see here. Willie Doc says, "What's up, P for P? Just got out of a Bible study. Cool. What you studying? Yeah, let us know."
Right.
I says, "Y'all help make
Willie
this great Wednesday night on fire as always." Yeah, Willie Doc, let us know what you study. I'm always interested. I've been in in Isaiah lately, so that's an interesting. That's like walking through fog almost. Anyway, so VTW tipped us $10 and said, which we really appreciate that, VT. So we should try to get as much as we can for Ryan and Julio. We need players, getting future draft picks, and building through the draft. That's an interesting concept. I think the problem with that is it's going to be the money more than anything else. Like part of what made the Jared Goff trade possible, not only the amount of picks they gave up, was the fact that he didn't have as much dead cap that Detroit had to take on. Like right now, Matt Ryan's dead cap is like $43 million. You know, for this year. Okay.
Yeah. Just for this year.
So I don't. That's like regardless if you trade him, the Atlanta Falcons are still paying him that. So, you don't get to get compensated is what I'm getting at. Let's see. Tony Wright. What's up, Tony?
What's up, Tony?
Oh, man. I missed the show this evening. That's all right, Tony. It'll be on.
You can go back and catch
it. Right. You just take a little bar, scroll it back the other way, start over. It's all good.
Hey. Right. Bring a friend. Bring a friend. Watch it with a friend.
Adam Holloway says, "What's going on, boys? What's going on, Adam?"
What's up, Adam?
What's up, man?
I know Adam.
Yeah,
Holloway.
I'm about to say Adam is a good
Twitter guy.
Conversation on Twitter. So,
oh yeah, no question.
Got to shout out Adam, and if you don't follow him, follow him on Twitter. Adam, you can plug it in the comments with Twitter.
He's a good follower. For sure.
That's right.
Corey Smith says, "What do you think about Peas? Will defense be a top 10?" I don't know about top 10. I like Peas. Don't get me wrong, but we just don't have the talent that I can stand on right now. Like, ask me again after free agency and the draft. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. So let's expand on that a little bit more, because we have to ask ourselves what Falcons team is going to show up. Because to be honest with you, not that the Falcons, when they played the Chiefs, I look at that game, pretty sound game. I look at, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna not entertain the possibility that we can't be a top 10 team, because I ain't gonna lie. After I saw Foy Aluakon pick off Patrick Mahomes, I really thought anything was kind of possible with this defense in terms of what it could be, because I think what we're learning is this defense actually for as many holes, there is some leadership. Like I said, that linebacker core, there is leadership.
I'll give it that.
Deion Jones it's a strength, but and Grady Jarrett, man, let me tell you something. The thing about that defense is, if they buy into the coach, anything is possible. Because if I'm playing defense, one player on the Falcons defense that I'm gonna buy into is Grady Jarrett, because the way he goes to work, his work ethic, mentality. The fact that he's already great, but works like he wants to be greater. Yeah. See, sometimes on defense, it's not about, X's and O's as much as it is who are the guys that are giving those speeches. And to be honest with you, it's Jimmy's and Joe's, absolutely. Because you think about it, who was the guy on defense that kept them rolling, kept them motivated? That was Grady Jarrett. I'm willing to use Grady Jarrett as a foundation piece, for Aluakon as a foundation piece, Debo Jones as a foundation piece. Now, true enough, that's foundation pieces. And this is where the fans are like, well, no, I mean, what about Oliver and da-da-da-da? No, excuse me. Let's also use A.J. Terrell as a foundation piece as well, because, let's just see what the draft comes. Let's see what free agency does for us. And I think that it's possible I'm not saying it will happen, but it is possible for a top 10 defense under Dean Pease with good scheming and coaching. So,
of course.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
Go ahead. No, I wasn't saying that. That's you.
I'm not getting caught up in that top 10, top 5 stuff anymore. Yeah. What I will say is this, though. Dean Pease offers something to us that we haven't heard of in a long time. We don't have to go out here trying to get the top pass rush anymore, because if everybody's blitzing, it's whoever can get to the quarterback, and that's who I need. So it definitely makes the draft a lot easier for Terry Fontenot. To not having to worry about going out here for a top edge rusher that there may not be in this draft. That's defined.
That's right.
Okay, so I love that. The number two thing is I love that he's not using the B word, versatility, and he's using instead flexibility. And why is this so important? Because now you go and use the players at what their strength really is instead of trying to make them something else that they are not. And this is what Dean Pease mentioned. When players go down injured, I'm not going to try to make this player be like that other player that came out. I'm going to use the strength that he gives me in the game. So that means Dean Pease is going to be very good at situational football, because that's where we have struggled at over the years as Atlanta Falcons defense.
There you go. That's it.
Preach,
Yep.
Toby, I just tipped you. I'm sorry. That was.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Thank you, bro.
Oh shoot, Willie Doc answered us. He said that he was in James 115 through 23 for those who want to check that out. So anyway, keep it on moving. Adam Holloway says, "LOL, thank you boys, y'all are great." He says he's at DAMSKI32 is the handle, so y'all definitely go follow him. Tony Wright says, "Jimmy and Mike, can either of you do a film study breakdown on Syracuse free safety Andrew Cisco? 6 foot.
Oh, gladly.
6'2".
I'm sorry.
6 foot 206. This young man makes plays, great picks and hits. So maybe that's something y'all can look into on a draft.
Oh yes, sir.
All right, let's see.
Oh yes,
sir. Corey Spence says keep Neal, as in Keanu Neal, or nah? Would y'all want to keep Neal?
On a veteran minimum.
Oh no, he said veteran.
Yeah, I was about that. You took it right out of my mouth, Toby. On a veteran minimum, yes. But what
1 year deal.
What we think Dan Pease possibly can do with a Neal is probably like insane. But we're gonna need a veteran minimum on.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna need a low risk 1 year deal. Make sure he can stay healthy.
Yeah, 1 year
and see how Dean Pease is going to use him.
But he's gonna get paid. Unfortunately, he's gonna get paid, man. He's hit enough
of course.
people that somebody's gonna take a chance
on
those 2 ACL surgeries.
Yeah.
And
like Dallas will pay him.
And we ain't talking negative about Neal. We love him up there.
Great
business.
Okay, let's see. Speed Falcon for life says, keep Keanu Neal and play Dante Fowler's strengths. And this is about the third time Speed done said draft Najee at 4. We are not drafting Najee Harris at 4. Like, I'm going to go ahead and call it. They shouldn't have drafted Saquon Barkley as high as they did. And I like Barkley. I think he's awesome. But you don't draft running backs that high. They don't have that long of a shelf life. Not in the NFL.
Speedy know that. Speedy know that.
That's why he's laughing at the end of it.
Bag about his stuff. Yeah, Speedy know it too.
Cool Awesome Brandon says Grady Jarrett is the most consistent player we have. I agree with that on defense.
I
agree completely.
No question about it.
Let's see. What else we got here? Adam Holloway says, I was just talking to my boy who interviewed Notre Dame's edge Dalen Hayes.
Yeah.
He said I did a breakdown of him on Twitter. And Hayes said he had a fantastic interview with Atlanta. He's projected as a 2nd, 3rd round pick. Okay, so there you go.
Yep. No, JR, no. Let's not pass that. Hey, Adam, no, because he touched on a point that we gotta get it in.
Ahead.
Tap in on Saturday. Hey, we talked about old Dalen Hayes. Let me tell you something. We like him. I heard, and this is just some good grapevine Senior Bowl talk, that he was the most dominant defensive lineman down there. That no offensive lineman wanted anything to do with this guy. And I think that if we look at a Dean Pease guy, he fits that mold, fits that criteria. But tap in Saturday, we'll talk a little bit more about it. But I love where your mind is.
I think y'all are gonna really enjoy this draft house. Now, look, I'm gonna go ahead and burst one little bit of bubble. Y'all gonna have to like deal with me on the draft house instead of Jimmy. I had to step in for Jimmy because of scheduling issues with the our particular guest that we had. But I hope I did you proud, Jimmy.
Oh no, hey, we are a team and a family over here.
Yes,
and whatever it takes to get the job done for the Atlanta Falcons, I am all for it. You know we do that, JR. We do it, baby. I know it.
Right. Hey, listen, and JR, I almost stopped to, y'all almost was about to block me and mute me. I was about to say we're a brotherhood.
No, don't say that now. That's
I said,
they didn't turn that into
okay, my bad. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, we a bunch of guys.
We're a good, close-knit group of people who like the.
There we go. It came out. I stopped myself. It was right there, but I stopped myself.
Oh man, Tony Wright says there's one free agent we need to strongly consider signing, and that's Denver's defensive tackle, Jarrell Casey. Jarrell Casey. That would make our D-line stronger and would really turn Grady Jarrett loose. Now, hold on now. Jarrell Casey, wasn't he in Tennessee?
Yes,
with
sir.
Dean Pease?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, there you go. That makes sense. I was about to say, I seem to remember that name when I was doing the film study on Dean Pease's system. That Jarrell Casey was one of the led the team in sacks one year. So yeah, give me him on a cheap deal so he can help like teach what Dean Pease wants to do and what is accepted or expected.
No question.
Let's see, Andrew Bato. Oh man, I hope I say that right. So, would you guys like Daron Payne from Washington? Say we trade a third this year and a second next year. I think he would help Grady a lot. I mean, I would like Daron Payne, but I highly doubt Washington's coming off of him. You know, he was Daron Payne and Allen Robinson, I think was the other guy's name. I think that might not be right.
But he pairs well with Chase Young.
Yeah, that defensive line
him go.
is the strength of Washington.
That's what got him to the playoffs. He literally helped almost willed them to the playoffs. Like the defensive line is one of the best in football.
Oh yeah, they ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
PB Bless says, "I love you guys. I received a Bible scripture and good Falcon content in the same show. Hey, look, we aim to please.
We love you too,
we aim to please, right? We do what we can." Wallace Smith, hey Wallace,
what's up,
Wallace? I'm sure you probably commented earlier, and I may have just scrolled over it. But anyway, Wallace says, well, what are y'all thoughts on Moreg, the safety from TCU? That's a name that's been coming up a lot. Moreg is a guy, if we trade down, like say we swap with Indy or something like that, like you could give me a Moreg right there, and I wouldn't mind one bit. If we swap with a Washington, you could give me a Moreg right there, and give me a true safety to put back in the backfield. I'd take him all day long. And if we can't get a Moreg in the first, then give me a Richie Grant in the second.
Right. Right. Or give me a Hamza. Give me a Hamza third or fourth. Well, give me a Hamza fourth. To be honest with you. Yeah.
Hey, but William, go back and watch that last draft off. We had Moreg. We did a big thing on him. Go back and watch that last draft.
Please check in. Yeah, we went in depth on Moreg.
Joshua Reed says we need to get back to Jerry Glanville's blitzing defense. Well, that sounds like that's what
good God Almighty.
That's what DP said.
That's what DP said like he was gonna do.
Hey, you know what? It may not be grits blitz, but
might be peas blitz.
I don't know. Peas blitz, right? Hey. Cream of wheat. I don't know.
It's by any means necessary,
brother.
And that's what I like to hear. Get to them however you can.
Yep. Jamil Riggs says 2 Hall of Famers staying in Atlanta. That's right. And he said, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Jamil? I'm glad you could join us tonight."
What's up, Jamil?
Gentlemen, we have bumped up over an hour. We are at about an hour.
That's all we say.
And it's been a good ride again. I'm glad y'all decided to join us.
Indeed.
All you folks in the chat.
We are glad.
We'll be back again next week talking about whatever else comes up. Whether it's going to be a lot of draft talk up until the draft. Next week, the Super Bowl will be done. We'll get to know if we really need to despise Tampa fans or start gunning for KC fans. We'll figure that out after this week. I kind of hope that it's KC myself. I don't necessarily mind Tom Brady getting another ring, but I definitely don't want to hear Tampa fans thinking that they're all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So, anywho, as always, y'all can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128, GRIMM1128. I'm trying to get to be more active on there, give y'all a reason to follow. Jimmy, where you at?
You are. You can catch me at Jimmy Obama, JIMMYOBAMA. And yes, we are God-fearing men over here at Pound for Pound ATL. And the scriptures that came in the comment, I really appreciate it. Big Mike.
That's right. And as Jimbo said, yes, we got it by faith here, And one thing I will say, man, is that it's always a pleasure for y'all to be able to tap in. Toby D just gave me an idea. I'm probably gonna have a Dean P shirt my first game with a by any means necessary hat because I like that. So, but anyway, y'all follow your boy Mike Dub on Twitter, man. MIKE_DUB. Love you. Like I said, y'all got y'all opinions. We got ours. Y'all keep tapping in with us. We appreciate it.
Now before I get my Twitter handle. I will say for the next 2 weeks, guys, I appreciate all the support you guys are giving me coming back on the think tank, but I will not be doing the think tank for the next 2 weeks. I'm kind of going to lay low a little bit to see what's being stirred up in the pot by Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith over there, and then I'll be back refreshed again. So I just want to put that out there. Other than that, you can follow me on Toby D 1991.
All right, gentlemen. Great show again. We'll see y'all again next week. And as always, Falcons fans, rise up.
Rise
Rise
up.
up.
All right.